In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this fun card. It has a belly band, and then it's a gatefold card, but I've angled both sides to create this fun angled look that you can slip the belly band over. And then I've used the Countryside Corners dies to create this layered look, and then the little saying inside. So this is the Changing Leaves bundle. It's a hybrid bundle, so it not only includes the stamp set and the dies, but also a 3D embossing folder that you can use to cut and emboss the images at the same time. So you're going to place your large die inside the embossing folder on the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo, and you're going to place your paper inside and close the folder, and then when you roll the folder through, you're going to get these amazing textured leaves. So I created this card using the bundle. I created a mask by using the dies to first cut out of a 6x6 piece of a dark cardstock. This is Night of Navy. And then that gave me the template so I could stamp the images right inside the template and perfectly cut them out with the dies and emboss them. So these leaves are all embossed. And then there are these cool extra dies that you have to embellish the card. And so I've got some of those leaves on the card as well. The card is also embossed with the embossing folder itself in the background. We're going to start by stamping this very large leaf. Every time I stamp it, I think it just turns out beautifully. So you're going to want like a 4" by 5" piece of white cardstock. And I'm just going to make sure I'm pressing down since this is a large stamp. And then isn't that gorgeous? I love it. So for the card base, you have an 11 by 5½ piece of Misty Moonlight, and you're going to score it at 3 3/8 and 7 5/8. Then you're going to adhere this piece of Countryside Blossoms DSP that's 4" by 5 1/4. And then I have marked the middle of each side and cut a diagonal cut to the point on both sides to create this angled gatefold card. Now for this part, we're going to stamp the large leaf all over this part of the card to create this really cool textured look. So we're going to use a scrap piece of paper. We're going to use one on the bottom and one on the top so that we can mask off this part because I only want it to be on the front part. And then I'm just going to ink up the top of the image. We're not going to really use the stem. And then I'm just going to stamp. And then because I'm stamping over top of this scrap paper, I want to make sure I really press down. So sometimes I like to use my elbow. And then I get that nice crisp line there. And so we'll continue and we'll add another one on this side, and I want it to be nice and close. And again, I'm gonna stick my elbow in there. Lovely. And then we'll just add a little bit at the end here. And then we'll do the other side. So I used the Countryside Corners dies to cut out of Misty Moonlight and then the Countryside Blossoms DSP, as well as a white piece. This white piece is going to go inside here, and we're just going to adhere it flat with some seal. Now I'm just going to add a dimensional to each leaf. On the large leaf, I'm going to do it towards the inside just to make sure that none of the dimensionals are hanging off of this image here. And then I'm just going to remove the backings and place this down on our front piece. And then this piece is going to go inside here. So now I have the belly band. It's 8.5 by 1, and I've scored it at 2 1/8 and then 6 3/8. And I'm actually going to wrap it around the front. I like to wrap belly bands around the front. So I like to wrap the belly band around to the front because that way you have a nice clean back, and then you can hide the edge right here. You don't need it to meet or cross over. That's unnecessary. That way you can just use the 8.5-inch side. You just want to put a good amount of adhesive on these two ends here so that you can lay this down on top of it in the center. And that creates your really lovely belly band. And now we're going to stamp the sentiment. So I'm just going to stamp the sentiment "thank you" on this little scrap sheet. So now I'm going to do a little trick to cut this out and shorten the die. I only want it to be as long as the "thank you." So I'm going to place one end this way, and then we'll cut it out. And then we're going to place the die this way, and you're going to place it where you want it. And because it has the stitching, it kind of locks into place, which is really nice. But this time we want to put the cutting plate this way because I don't want to cut the end and create an extra stitch on either side. I want it to look like it was one die that cut this piece out. Now I'm just going to add this to the bottom right here. And on this card, I added some of the opaque sparkle dots in boho blue. But for this card, I want to use the iridescent faceted gems. I think they're going to pop more, and I just think they're really pretty, and they really shine off of the darker colors. So we'll do a larger one here, and we'll do 2 of the smaller ones over here and right there. And that's my angled gatefold card using the Changing Leaves hybrid bundle.